baby.
Yep.
Stretch it out. Warm up. Don't want to pull a hammy now.
Oh my god.
Hey. How you guys doing tonight? Welcome to Just the Tip. I got some sound in my headphones I wasn't expecting there. Welcome to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast. We are your hosts. I am Mac, aka Just Fat Bidge. We got Matt Regan. Regan, how are you?
Great.
Just really
That's
great.
it. I got it. I'm just excited to get into this. Let's get going.
Yeah, all right. Let's have a little foreplay first, all right? And then we got Ryan, the tagless Haynes. How are you doing, Ryan?
Doing good as always. I'm following Matt's sentiment. Let's do this.
Thank you.
All right. Well, fine. We'll just get straight down to business. Today is Wednesday, May 19th. We are recording, so some news comes out late, and we were not predicting the future. Now you know why. Let's see. This podcast, we like to give our tips and food analogies, so hopefully you can remember them in a silly way, in a provocative way. And we just want to say thank you guys for supporting us out there, liking, subscribing to our videos on YouTube, sharing our Facebook page at Just the Tip FFP. I got some great news, though, for all you guys who are audio-only listeners. Big announcement. We are now available on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Radio Public. We are awaiting Apple and Google and Stitcher currently, so hopefully that will be up by the time this video comes out on YouTube. But yeah, for those that don't want to sit around and see Regan's ugly mug, you can just listen to his voice of an angel.
Beautiful.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm the only reason why they come to YouTube.
Uh,
All right, I've tried to give myself something.
eh,
Thanks.
yeah, well, they come for many different reasons, I'm sure.
Yeah, the tip. Plural.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah.
And,
That's good news, though. That's awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah. Sorry it's been taking so long. This is just a hobby. We don't get paid for this. So if you want to sponsor us, is there a barbershop out there that wants to give me a haircut? Give you a shout out? Something like that. Save us some time. Beer money? Yeah, sure. I'll take that. All right. And with that, let's say we get into the briefs. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
There it goes.
Delayed. I like the suspense.
Yeah.
Before I really bring it, just like to, So anyways, not a lot of news this week. Giants signed former Panthers wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin, intending to play him at tight end. So apparently this is the new trend. Just sign a bunch of people and hopefully they can play tight end. Head coach of the Chicago Bears, Matt Nagy, said to the media that Andy is the starter, meaning Andy Dalton, and he is going to get the 1 reps in practice. And lastly, Travis Etienne is being used primarily as a wide receiver in camp. What in the good God is Urban Meyer doing?
You know what? I think we need to rename this segment. We'll edit this in post, but...
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr.
all the coaches you just mentioned. Oh, my gosh. Where do we start? Regan?
All right, we'll start from the beginning. Kelvin Benjamin being a tight end.
Yeah.
They already have 2 others.
They signed Kyle Rudolph after he was let go by the Vikings, and then they have Evan Ingram, and I'm sure they got more. And I don't know. They're trying to experiment, and play chess while everybody else is playing checkers, I guess.
Oh, that guy must have got thick in quarantine. That's all I'm saying.
Nah. Somebody quoted he was one Popeye's chicken sandwich away from becoming a tight end. That was like 5 years ago. I forget what commentator said that. And
Nailed it.
he did. He called it.
Predicting the future
Yeah.
with the
He's
sandwich.
clairvoyant, huh? Then, Matt Nagy with Andy Dalton. Okay. I get it. He's trying to make the rookie come in and earn his spot. He's not trying to say it's guaranteed to him. You want some competition. I get it. But we all know he's lying, right? It's Justin Fields.
Yeah, is
it was a
anyone buying
promise.
that?
It was a promise he has to kind of keep. I think that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. You trade up for a quarterback to sit week 1? No. Not happening. Unless you're San Fran. That's a different story. And then, ETN. Let's put a running back. I guess this helps you out, Ryan, right? Because you got James Robinson. He's probably going to be a bit relevant at the beginning of the season if ETN's lining up in the slot, right?
Yeah. Are you buying that? Like, are we buying
yeah.
that Travis Etienne is going to be like
Oh,
this hype? He wasn't even that great of a receiving back in college.
No.
It doesn't seem to make any sense. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even comment on it because I didn't agree with the pick in the first place, and now this is what's happening. It just, oh my goodness, I don't know.
It's just going to be a lot of jet sweeps and, get a little ahead of myself, but I was trying to tell you guys a few weeks ago, Urban Meyer is not going to be cut out for the NFL, and Trevor Lawrence is going to suffer for it. And that's why Zach Wilson will be better. But we'll get into that later. Regan, you got any thoughts on ETN?
No, he wasn't that bad of a pass catcher. He was, he's known for his hands, but at the same time, if he was a good receiver, he would have played receiver. Simple enough. So, I like the PPR output on this could hand us, but other than that, you got a little lucky with James Robinson for a little bit.
That is true. All right. Next up, the NFL schedule. Buried the lead a bit there. That was the big news from the NFL coming out last week. Any thoughts on that, Regan?
Well, you guys obviously know the biggest game possible is coming to us October 3rd. I think that's week 4-ish, 3-ish, 4-ish. And Tom Brady's coming back to Gillette.
Yeah, week 4, October 3rd.
We'll get into who we think starting and what's gonna go down with the Patriots this year in this episode, but I'm just excited to see this. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, man. Hashtag Goat Bowl. Greatest quarterback, greatest coach.
I love that.
I'm excited to see it. I'm trying to get it trending. Follow us on Twitter. Just a tip, FFP.
Good plug. I like that.
Get us some more follows. We'll follow you back. Regan, Ryan, any thoughts on that game, or you got another one that you want to highlight from the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, what are the Pats going to be like -10.5 that game? And is there any chance that like Brady doesn't put up 42 plus points on us and just continues to pack it on and pack it on and pack it on?
They're gonna blitz the house on every play. Brady can't throw under pressure. I'm just saying.
I hope they do, man. Because he's got the weapons. He'll have a good plan. They'll be all right. Quarterbacks always do better their second year. Even Carson Palmer did with oh my gosh, Bruce Arians.
The Cardinals.
Yeah, with Bruce Arians' system. So I know Brady's kind of doing his own, but he'll do better next year. And I have him in Dynasty. So hopefully he brings me the chip this year.
Do we really think Bruce Arians has anything to do with Tom Brady doing well?
A little bit. Come on.
Not a chance.
Just saying. This isn't necessarily Tom Brady's
0%.
22nd year.
Tom Brady's been coaching teams for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Jesus. Bill's been on his boat for 7.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, oh, shoot, I actually got to do things in the off season. I can't just hang out on my boat and chill. Just go with my gut.
Gut being Tom Brady.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
We'll see. Does Brady break the touchdown record?
Yeah.
How much does he need?
52, 53, something like that.
That's an MVP. That's an MVP season.
I'm not the stats guy.
No, I don't think he does it this year, but in his career, yeah, he'll break that record.
He's
for
playing
sure.
2 more.
I don't even think he needs that many. I think he only needs like 26 or something. I don't know. We'd have to look into that.
If
But-
only we had somebody here to look it up.
That's right.
Oh well.
I think it lines up week 4 or something. Maybe it's the passing yards. There's some record that lines
Don't
up.
say week 4.
No. That's the passing yards. Yeah, I'm just saying overall in the season. I'm calling Brady being MVP. He's going to go off. He's going to break the touchdown record. He's going to pass Drew Brees with the passing yards. They're going to plan it for week 4. Like the week before, he'll be like, "Nope, take me out of the game. I don't care if we lose. I'm gonna
run it. Just run it.
Just run the ball."
As far as all those records, I cannot disagree with you more. Was this Brady from 2008? Randy Moss?
I may be a little biased.
To what?
I have him on my dynasty team.
Oh,
I want him to go up. I didn't think I had to bring it up again.
He's been up every 20 minutes.
Fair.
I know. Pretty much every episode.
Oh yeah, you name drop that every time.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Next game.
All right, Matt, you got a game?
I got a game. How about week 16? Jets, Jags. Trevor Lawrence versus Zach Wilson, and I'm gonna throw a little. I'm gonna do a little flashback here to episode 3 of the podcast where Max said, "Calling it right now, Zach Wilson is going to have a better year than Trevor Lawrence."
Mm-hmm.
Rookie of the year. I'm excited about this game.
Zach Wilson will be rookie of the year. Yep.
Bold, buddy. You're so bold.
I am excited for that. Remember when Jameis Winston and Mark? That was an exciting game.
I don't know when you became a Jets fan. It's kind of gross.
It is kind of disgusting. No, you know I'm a fan of Zach Wilson.
Because he's Mormon?
Because he's Mormon. No, he has a laser rocket arm. He can move. He takes chances. He's
Hey, we're gonna get into the whole.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Take a breath.
No.
Okay.
We'll get
getting
into
all
it,
hot
bro.
and heavy over there. I don't
All right.
know.
You want to know why I'm getting hot and heavy?
Here it comes.
You gotta do a Google search, but Zach Wilson.
What is
Zach
your
Wilson's
game?
mom.
What is your game going to
So you did look
Wilson's
though.
mom.
I
Zach
haven't
Wilson's
seen
mom. Google it. Worth a Google.
I told you to look last
All right.
episode, so I'm
I
guessing
did.
you looked.
I took your advice.
I'm pretty sure she closed all her accounts because she was talking so much shit about like Disney and all this other stuff.
No.
Zach Wilson said he got talked to big time when he got to New York about the press and how intense or diving, I guess they can be into your socials.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to New York.
Yeah, and your mom apparently.
I will welcome her. That's fine. Just kidding. I would take it, man. So my, you okay there, Ryan?
No. What's your game?
Week 12, Bills at Saints. This is Thanksgiving night, man. Your Thursday game lock up. Your lineup with these quarterbacks, whoever it is for the Saints, Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, whoever's going to be starting there, you're probably going to be starting them in your lineup. And then, of course, Josh Allen. And the receivers there, Kamara. It's going to be a huge fantasy point game to that one.
You're saying both their defenses are horrible.
Well,
Saints
aren't too bad, especially at home. And Bills, I don't know. It's always a high scoring game on Thanksgiving night, so we'll see. All right. Well, how about we get down to the main event? Enough playing around there. Wear your hands, Ryan. Okay. All right. We're good.
Spirit fingers.
All right. Let's get to divisional breakdown. Breaking down the AFC East. And Regan, how about you get us started?
Sounds good. So we'll save the best for last, and we'll jump off with the Buffalo Bills, who finished first in this division last year at 13-3. Had a giant season, maybe unexpected season from Josh Allen. After the trade for Stephon Diggs, which couldn't help him out more in fantasy. So last year they averaged about 37 passes a game, 25 rushes attempts. That seems low. I don't know if that number is accurate. Josh Allen averaged 30 points. That's 4 points per passing touchdown, but 30 fantasy points per game. 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, another 8 rushing. Huge. Stephon Diggs averaged 20 points of fantasy points a game, 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns, 166 targets, which is amazing. They didn't really lose much. They didn't gain much either. That being said, they added Emmanuel Sanders and Matt Breida. I do like the pickup of Matt Breida. Could add some speed to the backfield, even though I know they do have speed, but it's just a little bit more ground game. I feel like the other guys are just strictly pass catchers. That, and then the last thing I have is they used 3 of their draft picks on offensive line, so they're trying to keep Josh Allen safe, and that sounds good for the future. I'll bring it right to our first question about Buffalo. Is they finished first last year, and do you think they will stay there, or do you think the rest of the league decide to put on their big boy pants and try to join the fun? Let's go with you, Ryan.
Well, I think my follow-up question to that is, can Josh Allen repeat what he did last year? We're only a couple of years away or from, people considering him a bust and wondering if he had it in him. First year he had a minus touchdown to interception ratio. Second year he was mediocre at best. Can he do it again? And if he can, then yeah, I think they're the clear division favorite. If he can't, I don't know. I think they get passed by somebody.
No, I think it's a great question. I actually went back and looked at his fantasy points too. So his first year, he averaged about 15 points a fantasy game. Next year, jumped up to 20, and then the year after that, jumped up to 30. So it's only going up. I don't see a reason why it would go down. But that was a very consistent rate of the average of 30 points a game. So fantasy points a game. So what do you think, Mac?
Yeah, they probably will stay first in the division. I'm high on the Jets, but I don't think the Patriots are going to bounce back too well, especially if they start Cam Newton. And Miami, I can't be biased. I don't think they're gonna take over the East. So yeah, I think they'll probably stay top of the division. And Josh Allen, it's hard when you don't have a running game going, and people get film on Stephon Diggs and Allen's connection now, that it's going to be difficult for him to stay number one. Like, he was ranked number 1 quarterback in all formats. So
that's a good point.
So yeah, I don't know. He definitely top 5, but it's like, are you going to take Mahomes?
That's tough.
Yeah.
I think I would take Mahomes over him just based off of the weapons that Mahomes has.
And don't forget the fact of motivation. Being at the big dance and then losing it, and then they revamped their O-line too. We'll get into, but yeah, it's like Lamar Jackson, or what are you gonna do? I don't know. It's a tough call, but yeah, he was number 1 last year. It's hard to repeat. So we'll see.
And to keep up that pace, I mean, those are some really big numbers. And I will say, like, I have Buffalo as my clear favorite for the division too, but a small piece of me has a little bit of doubt in Josh Allen, and I think he regresses a little bit. Or there's a possibility of that being the case. I do think they're the clear favorite in the division.
Well, there's always a possibility. Like, what percentage chance?
Based off of history, I mean, the guy has had mediocre to bad seasons in the past.
Yeah, but he's gotten better each year. That's what Regan showed.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, he still has the same weapons. Regan said, like, they added pieces to the O-line to add some depth and to improve that group. So there's no reason to believe that he's going to get any worse, but just a small piece of me goes back to like the Josh Allen who just can't make the right decision and makes a lot of mistakes and, isn't clutch and, all of these things that we were seeing in the first 2 years.
Good stuff, fellas. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Ryan, do we have any more questions on that one?
Do we think if you're drafting in the first round of a fantasy draft, let's say PPR, just for example, Davante Adams, Stephon Diggs.
Is Aaron Rodgers the quarterback?
We don't know.
No, okay.
Let's say he is.
Then I'm taking Davante Adams.
Same,
Okay.
I agree. If it's questionable at the draft, though, automatically you got to go Diggs. If it's questionable on Aaron Rodgers, they just picked up Blake Bortles, just to have somebody in camp because they had no one to play quarterback at camp.
Jordan Love's not ready. Blake Bortles, if Rodgers isn't back, he could very well. We'll see, but
so today, Stephon Diggs, draft day, probably Davante Adams.
But it's looking like
given Rodgers.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If the rumors are true that Rodgers does not want to play for the Packers ever again.
They made an offer to him, but it hasn't come out to what it was and what it entailed. He said, I read something that he had one thing that needed to happen, and who knows what it was. Probably to trade for Julio Jones or something stupid. But
imagine that, Julio and Davante Adams.
Yeah, that would hurt his fantasy ranking. So big time.
Adams, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for sure.
Julio's would probably go up.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Mac,
get
what's
into that
that?
when we break down that.
I like it.
Yeah, just a couple of notes there, Regan. The running game's non-factor. Going to take any of the running backs, but their receivers, Cole Beasley, PPR machine, really helped you out in the flex there or streaming for bye weeks. I mean, you picked him up and you kind of kept him there when the bye week started going in. So, but yeah, it's
who's a better depth option, Singletary or what's his name, Moss
or Breida? Yeah, definitely not Breida.
No, I don't think Breida. But who do you think between Moss and Singletary? Who's a better depth option in a redraft league?
Moss.
They really gave him even just it's really a toss-up. I would probably, Moss is younger. I guess I would go with him. But
I feel like Moss was getting more goal line stuff than Singletary. Singletary was getting more dump passes.
Yeah, and you addressed it. They were trying to fix their O-lines. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I don't know if he's sitting there and you're like, I got 2 wide receivers. Yeah, maybe if Moss is sticking around or Singletary. But
Are either of you guys targeting them or looking at them? Or is it just going to be kind of like, they're the best available, I might as well snatch them up?
Yeah, like you said, maybe a depth thing. Just a couple of last rounds, snag one.
I will probably take a tight end before them, even if they're not in the top 5 of tight ends. So
honestly, I'd rather take as many tight ends as possible, just so you maybe hit on one because it is slim.
All right, fair points.
Like it, guys. All right, Mac, you want to jump into the next one?
What's the next one we got going up there, Reed?
We got a little dolphin action. Yes, that is the one.
that one. All right.
Color.
We all know. Oh yeah, look at that.
Ray Finkel, top fantasy scorer for the Dolphins.
Ooh, man.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Einhorn's a man? Sorry.
What is he talking about? Notable players. We'll talk about them. Tua, of course. Will Fuller, who they signed in free agency to 1-year deal. Devontae Parker, who looks like he's sliding down from last year's production. We got Mike Gesicki, their tight end. He was ranked number 7 last year in PPR formats. So I'm looking for him to make a big jump. And then we got, of course,
Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle.
their big draft pick. Then the running back class, Miles Gaskin, or running back backfield, excuse me, Salman Ahmed. And then we got, of course, the kicker, Jason Sanders. He was like a special teams player 5 weeks in a row.
Why do you know that?
Oh, man.
Gives a shit.
Hey, man, if you still have kickers in your league, he's pretty clutch.
Talk to your the managers to get rid of the position is what he's saying.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
no. Come on, that could be a deciding factor.
I know that's the problem. Like Miami Dolphins kicker.
Well, it's the problem. They weren't scoring touchdowns. They have to kick the.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, last year I felt like they were coaching way too safe. They couldn't make up their mind. I love Brian Flores, but I was like, why are you taking Tua out when the going's getting tough? If you're facing adversity, you got to see if you can get through it. But this offseason, they were like, all right, let's surround them with speed. There was a game against Kansas City where Tua was, throwing bombs and it was going right through receivers' hands or just out of reach. So I think with a great offseason, he'll have a bounce back year. The running backs, it's too hard to tell. Like if it's just gonna be a running back committee, there's one. If it is anybody, it could be Gaskin there. He was doing really well last year. He was a great PPR running back. But yeah, he's a good floor running back 2 or high end running back 3, I would say. This one thing going for him too, we were talking about the schedule earlier. They are in the top 10 consensus with some analysts, excuse me, saying they're in the top 10 of the easy. We'll see. Regan, you got any thoughts on them?
This team's tough, man. I feel like they had some great additions with Fuller and Waddle, which obviously you were definitely going to overuse that Waddle sound. Just saying.
Take it
I
out.
love
That
I love
already
it,
hasn't
though.
happened, or
Yeah. All right, so I was just kind of letting them know softly.
Then he waddled
God.
away, waddle, waddle.
I was getting a drink. That wasn't set up for.
Yeah. I guess my main question is kind of like off of what you said after we talked about the Bills and how you weren't biased, but where do you think the Miami's going to end this year?
I think there'll be a wild card. I think. They
What about in
need-
the division?
they'll be second. I think Bills will be first.
Really?
Miami will be second. Probably Patriots. Patriots will be third.
Oh, Zach Wilson's mom's last, huh?
Yeah. He'll be like, oh, she's first in my book, but
You have a book?
it's in my
No
diary.
comment.
It's in my diary. Yeah,
I love it.
but I'm saying Zach Wilson. They'll be the Chargers last year. They'll put up a bunch of points and stuff, and then probably suck the next week, like against the Patriots, 5-0, something like that. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my way too early prediction.
Like it.
do
Ryan.
you see
Yeah.
Tua as a top 20 fantasy quarterback? So we're talking like, just for reference, about 4,000 total yards, around 20 touchdowns, and minimal interceptions, 10 or 11 interceptions.
Yeah. No, he's probably going to be just outside. I don't know. I can't. It's way too early to predict with a new class of quarterbacks.
It's tough to gauge because he was getting pulled out so many times last year that his numbers are a little skewed. Like, he was quarterback 32 last year, but I could see him maybe cracking the top 20, top 15. I think is a stretch.
They also waited till after the bye week, so they're 7th. They went 3-3 with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Waited till the 7th game to start him. So,
I think the only thing that bumps him up over that 20 mark is his ability to run and produce on the ground. Outside of that, I don't think he gets there with his arm.
I say it's his new receivers that get him there.
That's what I was going to say. As long as and Fuller has a ridiculous stat on yards after catch, or I'm sorry, air yards. Excuse me. That he's just going to burn people, hopefully. And with Waddle, Gesicki underneath. This is his prove it year, man. I'm shy to make a prediction, but all right. I'll say top, just barely.
What'd you say? Top what?
Top 20, just barely in there.
Gesicki?
No, Tua. Excuse me.
Oh,
Sorry.
I thought you said Gesicki. I was like, there's not good 20 good tight ends.
No. Gesicki will be top 5.
So a question that was raised on ESPN today is, does Aaron Rodgers to the Dolphins make sense?
No.
The follow-up was, do they do it?
No, it doesn't make sense. You're trying to build your future, stacked all these drafts. You're not trying to get a 37-year-old quarterback, big baby, in there to win right now. Sorry.
So you're not doing a Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning?
They had
want to do that.
They had a really stacked defense and set wide receivers with Demaryius Thomas and Julius Thomas at tight end, right? And Wes Welker, Emmanuel Sanders, young Emmanuel Sanders, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and that wasn't a trade either. That was free agency. Free agency, maybe I would consider it. But I'm saying if you got to trade for him, I don't want to give up draft picks for that.
You have to give up Tua.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want.
You would?
Tua and probably 2 firsts.
I'd trade Tua for him.
Well,
no
straight
faith.
up. Yeah, straight up.
Yeah. If you could get that trade, that'd be. But they stacked up on picks, hope for Deshaun Watson, and then that's not shaking out too well. So we'll see on that. But
It shaked out a little too well for somebody.
Oh. We got to edit that. We don't.
Mac, where do you? We're talking about these weapons that he has now, right? So I guess I'll send this to Reeks though, because you mentioned it. You know, who's your 1, 2, 3? Parker, Waddle, or Fuller? What's your order?
I'd definitely say Parker first, and then just because he's been there, Tua knows him a little bit. Obviously, I know he knows Waddle and stuff like that, but I feel like they have a chemistry. Waddle and Fuller are tough, and the only reason why I'm going to pick Waddle is because I don't think Fuller is going to play 16 or 17 now.
Well, he definitely won't play 17.
You know what I mean?
He's suspended the first week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah. That's a tough call. I'd probably go Waddle, Parker, Fuller.
Yeah. Are we thinking more targets?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be like, oh, I know him, and throw to him more. So
he knows Waddle. Parker after 1 year, though.
No, I know, but you kind of go back to your old buddy. You're like, all right.
Short option too. Waddle's guy you're gonna throw a lot of wide receiver screens to and hope he can make a big play out of it, or slants, quick slants, stuff like that.
Those are Parker's moves, though. Parker loves slants and comebacks.
You
So
got a couple guys like
he
that.
just dropped the ball at bad times. I don't think he had that many drops, but it was just first downs to move sticks, and yeah, he had a tough year.
yeah, it's a possibility to lose faith in him because of that, but might be where your mind's at. I like it though.
Who's their backup quarterback?
Jacoby Brissett.
All right, so we're not thinking we're having a situation like there was last year where he's just constantly getting
No, I
pulled
doubt it.
and whatnot.
I doubt it unless they do something stupid like they did with the Colts and bring Jacoby Brissett in on the goal line or something like that. Hope they don't do that.
So bad that I think Brissett would be better right now for them.
Yeah,
Tua will be a better off quarterback.
You guys
in the long run.
need to.
I'll do Tua over Brissett. I'll say that. I'm pretty confident in that statement.
All right, last question until we move. We're spending too much time on Miami. Ryan, what do you think he's going to rank as quarterback, and where do you see them finishing the division? I don't think rank.
I'd say I'll give Tua the edge. I'll probably say like 17th or 18th in production because of his ability to run and scramble. I'm gonna say third in the East. And the Pats surpassed them. I think they have a lot of talent.
Okay.
And I kind of think Tua sucks. So that's also part of it. So,
I like it a lot.
yeah. Yeah.
All
right, to the
right.
next team.
Let's
Speaking
move
of,
on. All right, we'll move on to the Jets.
I'm going to preface this with the fact that I have to talk about the New York Jets just completely nauseates me. Like, I will say that like the torture of what the Jets have been for New York fans over the last 20 years is like, that's what gets me up in the morning. I'll tell you.
The fact that you know that after just reviewing them for like a few days kind of hurts.
I know. I'm like, they're improving. No, don't do it. Like that fireman dude or whatever his name is, fireman Bob or Rick or whatever. Like
it's
when
Ed.
that guy is like,
Ed.
like, it's the greatest feeling. You're like, yeah, dude, your team sucks. All right. Anyways, busy offseason for the Jets. So first of all, a little timeline of what has happened throughout this entire offseason. First, they fire head coach Adam Gase, so very typical Jets fashion. Moving on from another failed head coaching job.
He should never be allowed in the league again. Please.
That signing or whatever promotion, whatever it was yep. Right at the press conference, you knew. Like Fall Guys, you're like, yeah, this isn't going to work out.
If you're not watching the video, I'm doing a really good impression of Adam
This
Gase.
guy on cocaine, like, what is happening to him right now? That's when you're like, yeah, this is not going to work. So they bring in a new coaching staff.
Go ahead.
Bring in a new coaching staff headed by Robert Saleh, who was highly sought after, the defensive coordinator from the San Francisco 49ers. And he brings along Mike LaFleur, who's going to be the offensive coordinator, who is also under Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. So they bring in some new and exciting coaches. Saleh's history is really, he's really known for his leadership and he's known for his defensive prowess. But he's brought in a coaching staff that seems to kind of fit offensively and has a lot of experience on the offensive side of the ball. So wherever he's weak, he's kind of matched that. So I like the coaching staff. I like the direction they're going in. They brought in a passing consultant who has been in the league for about 25 years. And over the last 3 seasons, he's been working in Atlanta with Matt Ryan. And he's coached like 6 different 4,000-yard passers and all kinds of Pro Bowlers. So this guy's he knows what he's doing, and I think that's going to help Zach Wilson out tremendously. They bring in wide receiver Corey Davis in free agency, who Davis was on the record saying that he fully expected Sam Darnold to be the quarterback. They trade Sam Darnold shortly after. And Sam Darnold, who was dubbed the savior of New York, and they traded him to the Carolina Panthers, take Zach Wilson at number 2, and then are from what many analysts have said, they had one of the best drafts in the NFL. So they addressed quarterback, they addressed O-line, they addressed running back, they addressed a lot of different areas. I don't know. They seem to be on the right track. One area that they did not address that could have some serious fantasy impact is they did not address their secondary. So they let up the 28th most passing touchdowns last year, 29th most passing yards. So even though their defensive line is pretty good, their linebackers are really fast, they're pretty good with their front seven. They're going to rely a lot on their front seven, which could lead to a lot of shootouts, which could be good for fantasy production for their offensive players, but as far as the team, could be a little rough.
Playing catch up.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Wow, that was a lot of insight on a crappy team.
And with that said, I think they finished like 4-13 and finished dead last.
Well, that was to get the pick. I don't know. They were the ones that messed up getting Trevor Lawrence. Come on.
Maybe they like Zach Wilson better.
No.
No, I think you're the only one, big fella. I don't know.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is, when you look at Sam Darnold and you look at Zach Wilson, who has a better touchdown to interception ratio this year? Who has the better fantasy impact? Just remember, Sam Darnold historically, his touchdown to interception ratio is almost even. And I know he had Adam Gase. He didn't have the best tutelage, although I don't know how much stock I put into that because Gase has a decent track record with quarterbacks. So, Mac, what do you think?
I mean, he's got the easy button, Christian McCaffrey. That is, so put off to him, and you'll get 10 touchdowns easily a game. So I don't know. I think Sam Darnold, sneaky quarterback, but I think people are still going to be shy from the crap we've seen. But look how Ryan Tannehill, after Adam Gase left his stink all over him. So it's possible, but I'm still going with Zach Wilson having a better touchdown to interception ratio because he takes care of the ball. He only had 3 picks last year in his senior year, so 33 touchdowns and 3 picks. So I know some guys are saying, "Oh, he just think about it," but if that was true, I think he'd be throwing more interceptions, but we'll see. I'm not that big of a believer in Sam, even though he has the weapons around. I think he's broken beyond repair. What about you, Regan?
Those some good words there, buddy. Man, he only threw 3 picks, huh? That's wild. Good for him. That being said, I wish you could involve the rushing touchdowns because Zach Wilson's going to have like 6 of them. But I'm going to say Sam Darnold, honestly. I think I'm going to go with somebody who needs to make a statement. Probably feels pretty bad about what the Jets did to him and positions they put him in. Yeah, Sam Darnold. That's
so.
my final answer.
Would you say Darnold for touchdown to interception and Zach Wilson as overall fantasy output because of Zach Wilson's ability to run?
100%, yeah, definitely. I think that's an easy one to say. Now, that's not saying that, Sam Darnold's going to have 30 touchdowns, but man, me just talking about it makes me want to pick Zach Wilson now. Right.
Well, I would say Zach Wilson for the reason that I just said. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of shootouts because their defense just is not great. So there's going to be a lot of games where they're playing from behind, and whatever their scheme is, whether or not they want to stick to the run or not, I don't think they're going to have a choice. If you're down 14-0, 21-0, 17-0, you have to throw the ball.
Carolina's defense isn't that good.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
All right, so are you going to take the chance on Sam Darnold relevant fantasy seasons, or are you going to go with the surprise box and see what you get with Zach Wilson. You're probably not going to pick him up and start him, but in a 2-quarterback league or your backup, I think I'm going to, in the later rounds, I'm going to take Zach.
Yeah, I'd absolutely go with the upside right away.
Mhm.
You got to. Not knowing what you're going to get to, obviously, I don't know if he's NFL ready right now, but we're about to find out. So,
Oh, he's ready.
So my other thing for you guys is looking at this running back room, Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson, Michael Carter, and LaMichael Perrine.
P. Ryan.
you're right.
Ryan. So of those 4 guys, you seeing anything with any of them this year for redraft?
Nope. I kind of don't want to say it, but I think Michael Carter is going to have a pretty productive rookie season at running back. So I think they drafted him to be their starter. So yeah, I would take Carter overall.
I think Michael Carter is somebody you could stash in the draft, grab late, and just keep him on your bench if you got the extra spots for 3 weeks maybe. And by week 3 for week 4, he might be taking over.
Kind of like an Antonio Gibson last year. So
yeah, he's just got so much talent. He's got to burst out of that backfield, and I think they'll eventually start to see it. So if you got the space.
This eerily has some similarities to like when the Niners made the Super Bowl in 2019. At the beginning of the season, you're looking at their running back room, and you're like, Mostert, Jeff Wilson, I think McKinnon that had just signed, but then he got hurt. Like you looked at all of these guys, and you're like, this is not a great running back room.
Tevin Coleman there too, right?
I think Tevin Coleman, he might have been still with Atlanta at that point. I can't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was.
But still, like kind of these no-name guys, and then how did they get to the Super Bowl? They did it with defense in the run game because their offensive line was solid. And I'm not saying the Jets line matches up with the Niners, although it's pretty improved. Mekhi Becton, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but the left tackle in New York, the guys do like 6'9", 370 pounds or something crazy like that. And they just drafted Elijah Garrett Tucker, who looks like he's going to be a stud. So. Who knows? Maybe Michael Carter does have some value. He is a guy, Reeks. I think you're right. Like I think you stash him because I think week 4, week 5, week 6, or even a little bit later in the season, he's probably going to be the go-to guy.
Or like a Cam Akers of last.
Yeah.
Late bloomer. All right.
Yeah, he was like week 9, week 7, week 9. Like he started coming out. Cam.
Those are the guys to have, though. You get to playoff time.
Absolutely. Those win you your leagues.
Yep. Most definitely. Wide receivers, anybody? I think Crowder's gone, to be honest with you. I think they trade him. He's got a pretty big cap hit, and they just picked up a bunch of weapons. So what do you guys think? Corey Davis, you high on him?
Not high on him, but I'm willing to take him in those middle rounds to take a chance on him. I mean, if I'm going to believe Zach Wilson's going to be the rookie of the year, then I got to believe that the receivers that are catching it, they're going to be doing something productive. Denzel Mims with his speed too. I think he's going to be pretty productive as well. I'm more worried that they don't really have tight end help at all, but I think the receivers, Jameson Crowder, like you said, he might be traded, but he was a PPR machine last year. Sneaky.
So there's Elijah Moore. Like Elijah Moore is going to be the new slot guy. Are you high on him?
Yeah. No. Like I said, I think they're going to be the sleeper team. I think that people aren't going to realize, and you might be able to get lucky, get them late or waiver.
Yeah, let's just clarify. You mean sleeper in fantasy points? But
yes.
You guys,
where do you have them finishing? Where are they in the division? And what's their record?
No, I said they got to finish third in the division. I don't know, 7-10, something like that now, because Patriots aren't going to lose or not win more than 7. That's tough. I don't know.
I think they're last. I think they're gonna have a decent record though. I don't think the AFC East is gonna be a slump this year. I think everyone has something to prove other than the Bills, obviously, but they're not going anywhere.
So we all agree a good over-under for the Jets is probably right around 7 wins.
All right. Then I'll take the over at 8.
Yeah. I probably agree with Mac. I think that's a good assessment.
I'd go under. I think 6 or 7. But yeah, I think we're all kind of right around the same page. All right, that's my Jets wrap up.
Ooh.
Review, whatever you want to call it. Now I never want to talk about the Jets ever again.
Oh, don't worry. We'll be talking about We'll be talking about them a lot this year. All right, Regan, you want to take us to the moment everybody's been waiting for?
To hear?
We didn't negotiate and compromise with the king. We defied the emperors. We are patriots. We are Braveheart.
Patriots, the world's against you. The league hates you. Roger Goodell's a clown. Blah, blah, blah. What do you got for the Patriots this year? They going to the Super Bowl?
I got greatness. I don't know. I forget where I saw it, but the past 6 Super Bowl teams have had a Week 14 bye, and the Patriots have a Week 14 bye. Just saying. So does Miami. So
wait,
I don't think that means anything.
Week 14 bye? Isn't this the first year that they go to 14?
So it was something stupid. All right, so don't quote me on it. They had a week of something bye. They all
you're probably thinking the last
11.
the last of the teams to get the week bye.
Yeah, it must have been what it was.
The latest ones, because
the thing I did read was 14, so it was definitely a type on their fault and not me doing bad research.
Well, because Tampa Bay had bye week 13 last year, so
I think you're right. It might have been 11. I'm dyslexic sometimes and whatnot.
It's all right.
Anyways,
we'll follow up on that.
Patriots.
We'll post it on Twitter. Our correction.
I like it.
FFP.
Yeah, I'm sure the viewers are already commenting, calling me an idiot.
Probably not.
Just fine. Same as my friends and co-hosts. So obviously you guys know Cam Newton averaged about 15 points a game last year with a 4-point for passing touchdown. He only had 2,600 yards, 8 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, which is absolutely horrible. He did finish that off with 12 rushing touchdowns, which is amazing, but that also screws over your running backs. That being said, Damian Harris was their leading rusher with 690 rushing yards. Jacoby Myers was their leading receiver with 729.
Mm-hmm.
These are horrible fantasy stats. Horrible.
Hey, Cam Newton was quarterback 15.
Yeah, all those rushing yards.
He was the only one.
Oh God, so gross.
Took all the touchdowns, all the rushing yards.
Yeah,
everything.
It's because he was their goal line running back. Yeah, but I think most of those points came at that line. The Jets as well, where he had over 100 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had like 300. Well, what about Seattle? He had like 300 something touchdowns. 300 something yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Oh, that was his last good game.
All right. Well, either way, that being said, they went crazy in free agency, spending millions upon millions of dollars, grabbing the 2 best tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Other than that, you got Mac Jones. And that's going to lead to a lot of questions, sorry, Mac, as you would say, McCorkle. Michael McCorkle. That's going to lead to a lot of questions.
It's like McLovin. Just call him McCorkle. That's all he has to go by.
I like that a lot.
Are there any more t-shirts out yet?
Well, this one was already made by Edelman, so we're going to get some good ones. Just saying.
Sweet.
I lost my train of thought.
McCorkle.
So, yeah. No, we're off that.
Oh, come on.
Before we get into the questions that I have with you guys, I wanted to bring up a stat about Greg Olsen and how he played with Cam Newton. They had 111 games together, and obviously, they got Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. If the Pats are going to do what I think they're going to do, they're going to play Cam Newton this year. They're going to build up Mac Jones in the background. They signed Brian Hoyer as a mentor per se for the year. There's no other reason to pick up Hoyer other than that reason. But
Are you
either
kidding
way,
me? Did you see that performance against Kansas City last year? Come on.
it's the best game he's ever played in his life. And he played for the Browns. He was a starting quarterback of the Browns.
Yeah, nice. I was gonna say he had some good games.
Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted.
Excuse me.
So since the Pats grabbed the two big tight ends in free agency, I wanted to compare Cam and Greg Olsen, like I was saying. So they had 111 games. He only averaged about 11 fantasy points per game, but he had I forget how many division wise. I don't know how many games that was, but he had 36 touchdowns, 455 receptions. He averaged 6.6 targets a game. That's nice. 6.6 targets. That being said, if this is divvied up between the two tight ends, I don't think it's worth it. But I think one of them's going to become the stud receiving tight end. So I'll let you guys get into some questions, but I just want to leave you that with there. Cam Newton, if he's the quarterback, those tight ends could really pan out. That being said, I don't know about these receivers.
Yeah, I had that thought the other day about Greg Olsen and how effective he was with Cam Newton, and how he was able to get separation quickly off the line. And when you think about Newton, part of the problem last year is nobody was getting any separation, so he's constantly throwing into traffic. So if you have some guys who can get off the line, get open quickly, and he can kind of dump to them, I like that. I think it works. But the receivers, you're right. Like when he was throwing to Greg Olsen, he was throwing to Steve Smith too. We don't have a Steve Smith.
Jacoby Myers.
And Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, Nelson Aguilar. I do like that pickup. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's something. You're right though. Greg Olsen, if they have two tight ends too, cross routes over the middle or seam routes would be huge. And he doesn't have just one; he has two people doing that, so it could really pan out. So
I think Cam's the guy. I agree with you. I think he's the guy for this year. I think the way that they structured the team and signed those guys, I think it kind of fits into everything. Says Cam to me.
I honestly agree. And since Mac's rolling his eyes, we'll toss it to you. What do you think, pal?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Oh, it's gonna pay off. Second overall, and the AFC East.
Oh, okay. So they're gonna be a wild card team with Cam Newton under center. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh my God.
If they want any chance of making the playoffs, they need to go with
He's not even on the team. They only have Mac Jones.
It's McCorkle.
They're three. Listen, they went 7-9 last year, and they could have easily won 3 of those games with Cam Newton.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm not super high on Cam Newton, but they can get to the playoffs with him. He had no weapons, absolutely garbage. A million guys out with from COVID. David Andrews is out. You got Trent Brown this year. You got a lot of improvement around Cam.
Yeah, you say that, but if he threw so many yards to Jacoby Myers and then Julian Edelman when he had him, the most receiving yards against Seattle, but then the next week he didn't do much against I almost pulled a Regan against the Raiders there.
Great recovery.
Yeah. And then, getting COVID and then coming back, getting claims that all the terminology changed on. But the team shut down as well, so everything was. He's doing the video calls, and he should have been kept up. He pretty much would only miss 1 or 2 days, and he just couldn't keep up. I think Mac Jones is just gonna win it in camp and in the preseason. He's gonna show them how accurate he is, how he can get the ball to his receivers. yes, there is some truth about his targets, Cam Newton, that is, not getting open. But there'd be times that they're open and he's laboring so much to throw the ball, and it's hitting the ground in front, way off to the side. He's not accurate. And then plus fumbling the ball, like against Buffalo, costing him the game. Belichick doesn't want to put up with that.
He's been fumbling forever.
Yeah. Remember that Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, Mr. I don't dive on balls. I think it is going to be huge to have their center back Andrews.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a huge help. Just he's like, he's the QB of the line,
Yeah, center's really important. That's fine. I mean, I hope Damian Harris becomes more relevant without Cam Newton. Get the running game going with him. Sonny Michel's probably out the door. They just signed their rookie running back that they drafted. What's his name, Ryan?
Stevenson.
Yeah.
Rondell.
What was his name?
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre Stevenson from Oklahoma. Yeah, they just signed him. So I think Michel's out the door. So we'll see. That's why I think they get a goal line back like him to when you're down at the goal line, because it won't be Cam Newton.
Which is so much better.
You got to be able to pass it. You only have 3 plays at the goal line. The defense knew it was coming, like Seattle. Yeah, it was helping them until that last play.
Yep.
But you gotta be more of a threat. So
report today said that Mac Jones had a very impressive rookie camp.
Yeah, all the coaches loved him. Said he was really smart, and you're probably right that Cam Newton season, but I don't see him being out there too long. I'm hoping McCorkle starts because I want to be right and I want to be entertained.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mac. He's probably is going to show up better than maybe not right away, but he is going to show up at one point in time next year better than Cam Newton. But I just want to throw out the example of Patrick Mahomes behind Alex Smith.
Yeah,
and what
true.
they did and waited a year, and it panned out big time. Look where they're at now.
Yeah, true, but Andy Reid wasn't chasing Shula for the winning record, and he's not about to face his Padawan in Tom Brady in Week 4, and what's going to give him the best chance to beat Tom Brady.
You think he's going to throw a rookie Mac Jones at Tom the GOAT Brady? No way. He would not even do that. That would ruin the kid's life. He would never be able to play football again.
All the reporters down in Carolina were saying Cam Newton's going to look good at the beginning, but then he's just going to fall off a cliff real fast because he doesn't have his arm strength anymore. And
what if they do a rotation?
I could see that. You'll bring him in like Taysom Hill on some certain packages. It's, 3rd and 2 or something, and you want to bring him in. Okay, that's fine.
I meant like a full game rotation, like pitchers. But
oh, jeez.
Bring in the closer. Oh man.
Oh my God. We almost made it. We almost made it without it.
Killing me,
I've already.
Smalls.
I did it once already. You probably didn't hear. All right.
Pay attention.
All right.
Mac,
Let's move on. We'll see. Really important question. Will N'Keal Harry eat another cheese tight end?
I think I answered that one. Actually, this is. I actually was thinking about this and came out across a.
My joke didn't land from before.
They never land, Vicala.
Ever. Anyways,
right, I'm leaving. Bye.
Can you guys not hear me again?
Julio Jones? Is that where you're going with this?
Oh my God.
Yes. I can't hear me. Just ignoring me.
Oh my god!
Why do
We
you
can
think
hear
Julio
just being
Jones?
absolutely ridiculous, right?
That was actually a really good one, though. That was well planned. I just think N'Keal Harry, somebody might have thinking he actually has something that we don't think he does, and it might be a good trade value. And what's better out there than Julio Jones?
What are you gonna get for N'Keal Harry? A 7th round pick?
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's this conversation going?
Get out of here. I don't know where it's going.
Well, obviously they probably have to throw a pick in, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Stop with your sound drops and answer my questions.
Yeah, N'Keal Harry with a 2nd rounder, and then we got Julio Jones.
Exactly.
I'm all for it.
I just don't think they like N'Keal at all. I think his work ethic is poor. He takes plays off. And that's not how Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady. Oh, God, I miss him so much. How Bill Belichick rolls.
He's living rent free in your heads.
Oh yeah.
I think it's somewhat enticing for the Falcons. Like, you get a young receiver who could be something, who had high expectations, and then you get a decent draft pick for a 32, 33-year-old receiver who's on the tail end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And who is like $25 million against the cap for a cap trap team.
Yeah, the Pats will probably have to restructure his contract, but let's get the trade done first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if it happens, you guys, I need Pats on back.
One last note with the Mac Jones thing too. Like, Mac Jones versus Tom Brady, that's like a little bit of like a Tom Brady, Kurt Warner dynamic. Greatest show on turf versus the young.
Yeah.
The young nobody who kind of
Cinderella man. Yeah.
On another note, on Twitter, I posted Cam Mac backwards. Kind of weird. Just saying. MAC-CAM. Nothing.
Good point.
Good switcheroony. You know what I'm saying?
There's that like combo that you were talking about there, a little rotation action.
Right.
Cam to
they
Mac,
already knew.
Mac to Cam.
Yeah, they're already talking.
That's what she said.
I can't take you.
That's what Regan said.
Going back and forth between Cam and Jones. All right. Let's wrap this up here. We're already gone over an hour here. Ryan, you got one more thing on the Patriots here? Or are you good?
I think I'm good. 2nd in the division, wildcard team. I'll be happy with that this year.
All right. All right. One quick thought for me. They didn't sign the 2 most sought out tight end free agents to block for Cam. So that's why I'm thinking Mac Jones is going to be.
For Cam.
I know. I'm saying they didn't sign them to block for Cam.
I know.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
they signed them to catch passes from Cam.
Exactly.
Isn't that obvious?
Just like Greg Olsen.
That was back in his prime. He is past it.
Greg Olsen's prime. I agree 100%.
Exactly.
Okay.
Winner.
All right. Closing thought from you, Regan.
Patriots are awesome. No. I got nothing really. This is awesome. I love this talking out each team. Just excited for next week.
All right.
Agreed.
Well, one little bit of news. Jeff by the Texans to a 2-year deal. So pick him up. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Who are we talking about next week, Mac?
I don't know. Who do you guys want? AFC. We'll go West now.
AFC West it is.
East, West, North, South. All right. So next week.
Holmes, Derek Carr.
Ooh, baby. I like that a lot.
Talk dirty to me.
Teddy Bridgewater.
And it's over. And I went limp.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
It sounded so loud with people listening to it on the car radio. Just been 80 degrees. I love their windows are down. And this is just blaring.
Weather's getting nice out, man. Just the tip, FFP on our socials. Just the tip, a fantasy football podcast on all the audio platforms. We are still waiting for Apple and Google to give us background checks, lie detector test, checking us out. Yeah, fingerprints, all of that. So
We already have the chip. We're all vaccinated, right? At least Regan and I are.
That is very rude to be asking that.
I know. It's like, who you vote for? I don't know.
Yeah, why are you wearing a mask during this podcast, Mac?
Okay. You know what?
First,
take
a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
Oh, man.
Might get flagged for that one.
I'll check the explicit box.
Okay, just check it. I did so well not swearing this whole episode, and then you go and pull something like that right at the end.
You know what?
No, I don't.
Speaking of pulling something.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.